What's good, everybody? Back again with another Enthusiast Roundtable. I don't even remember which number this is, so I'm going to put it up here through the magic of post-production. But lovely, lovely guest today. This is actually our first official roundtable that I've got actually more than one person at the table. So super excited about that. We're going to go around and introduce everybody. It's so funny. The studio has a capacity to have about 5 or 6 people, but I don't have enough headphones for everybody. So people will share a microphone, but give them some grace, shall we? All right, let's go around the room. Here we go.
What's up, guys? I'm Tyron.
It would be so funny. I love This Is Live. He was muted. I've done that before with my last guest. I forgot to unmute you. Here you go. Go.
Thank you so much. I'm Tyron. I'm from the East Coast, so from Maine, where all my Maine homies at. That's pretty much it for me.
Lovely. And who's your lovely guest next to you?
I'm Lily.
That is Lily. She doesn't have headphones, but she's okay with that, she told me. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you don't hear her in the back, maybe she'll make some fun, cool sound effects in the background. That'd be great. Okay. So, and then also we've got 2 more awesome people. Check it out. Who we got in the studio?
What's up, everybody? Jesiah, National Coasters. What's going on? Happy to be here.
Yeah. Welcome back, buddy. I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you. Likewise.
And who is this lovely guest next to you?
I'm Hatsu.
Hi, Hatsu.
Coming from Japan.
From Japan.
Yeah.
What part of Japan are you from?
Tokyo.
Tokyo proper? Love it. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. So, Jesiah, speaking of coaster trips, so you guys just drove straight from Vegas? No, but by the way, Utah, correct?
Yeah, we started in Utah this morning, and then we went down through Vegas. We were going to try and get on the Big Apple coaster and do some stuff with Circus, but high winds and some other things prevented that. But we're here. So we came down, we made it, and we're good.
I know it's been a long time coming. You were, at least Jesiah, you were one of the very, very first guests when I did a studio show. Actually, yeah, you were. I think you were like guest number 4 with some other people. So it's been a long time since you've been in the studio.
Been a while. Shout out to Antonio and Gio.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
we miss you guys.
Go check out that video on my channel. Right there. Post-production is super cool. But so I'm super glad you come back. It's been a long time, and I'm glad to have the other guests here too. So very, 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 very cool. So what happened in Vegas? What's the story there?
Well, it's not too cool. The story is high winds. We had a film shoot set up for the Big Apple coaster. I have a new camera. I was going to go do some cool stuff with it, but fortunately, some high winds today affected not just our coaster riding, but we spent a surplus of money on gas to get down here because we were just going straight into headwinds the whole time. It happens.
Good times.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the gas, I know it's going to sound lame, but the gas is not cheap here, especially in the middle of the Mojave.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been away from home for a while. It's been a minute. I get back home and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's expensive.
Exactly. Well, it's so funny because I get some people that I know from Virginia and stuff like that. They're like, oh my gosh, can you believe it's $3.50 a gallon? And I'm like, I will drive to Virginia and fill up.
Yeah.
But anyway.
For real.
So Kieran, right? No, Keenan. Keenan Ivory Waynes.
That works, I guess. That works.
Had you been on any of the roller coasters in Vegas before?
In Vegas? No. Actually, I'd never been to Las Vegas before, actually.
Okay,
so
cool.
I was kind of hoping we'd be able to, but it was just a bummer, circumstances.
It just
but
happens.
We'll
Yeah.
try to hit them. We're going to be driving back through on Friday, so
Yeah,
I
we
think we're going to
rescheduled
try to
Friday.
hit them again.
That's right.
Which one were you most excited? I guess that's a question for all you guys. Which was the one that you were most excited to ride?
I mean, Big Apple, right downtown, right through all the buildings.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that's the coaster that made me an enthusiast.
Really?
And I've shared the story before, but I'll share it with you guys really quickly. I'd ridden roller coasters before. I'm actually from southern Utah. St. George is where I grew up. And so Vegas was obviously our closest big city. And they had a lot of rides that were, open there. They had the Speed the Ride. They had Desperado was not too far away, and then when the Big Apple coaster, and that whole casino opened, I went to go down and ride it. And but I'd been to roller coasters before. I'd been to like Magic Mountain. I've been to Lagoon, and a couple different places. So I've been on roller coasters, but I had never before experienced an element that they have on that ride. And actually, it's kind of cool. It's Togo, which is a Japanese manufactured roller coaster. I think it's the only one left in the United States. Is that right?
That'd be correct. Yeah, it's the last operating one.
Crazy. And so it has an element that's called, it's basically a dive loop. I don't even know if they call it a dive loop on there, but it's it goes like this and there's a hang time, then it kind of has an upside down loop. And I had never experienced that before. on any, and I've been on loops and stuff, but that was such a cool element to me. I mean, the rest of the coaster, okay, but that made me want to go and look up what that element was called, and that's what introduced me to RCDB.
Yeah,
which then introduced me to the world of coaster enthusiasts, which I thought was very interesting.
Totally.
So
I love it.
But no, all the coasters in Vegas are actually really fun. I really like El Loco. You've been on that one before, right?
Sure have, yeah, a couple times. It's a fun ride. I actually just did the sister coaster to it in China, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, we're going to get into that. Don't you worry. But, and then they've got one of the very last arrows ever built with Canyon Blaster, which is a lot of fun. And,
That's right.
I mean, it's a it's, for what they have, it's pretty cool. And then at least did you at least go and look at the Speed the Ride in storage?
We didn't this trip, but I've been out to that lot before. It's behind a McDonald's, and it's pretty cool to see that track sitting there.
Did you know about it?
No, I didn't.
Why didn't you tell them about the Togo? Not the Togo. I'm sorry, the Premier. That's the.
I probably should have. I should do my duties as a avid coaster enthusiast.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. It's behind a McDonald's hall. It's in
Really,
storage.
just like all
It's
the
just chilling.
parts.
Yeah, all the track pieces.
Dang.
Yeah. And because the desert is such a, Vegas is such a dry climate, it's in good looking condition.
I have a fun fact I want to add about Speed the Ride.
All right.
I'm not sure if no one said I couldn't say this. A while back, I was interested in just the status of it because I actually wanted to purchase a track piece. And I ended up getting in touch with the guy who owns the ride. There's a guy who owns it still. And they have the train still kept in a temperature-controlled storage area, along with some other pieces of track. So the entirety of Speed the Ride, from what I understand, is actually not in that lot. That's just half of it. The other half is still in a temperature-controlled area. And according to them, they are still trying to sell it as a real package to reopen. Hence the reason I was not able to obtain a track segment from that ride.
Wow, that's cool. I know that that it was not going to be part of a resort. It was just going to be part of the McDonald's development area, right? It was like
I think I don't remember the full story. I think maybe it was MGM that they were doing something with it at some point, and then I believe it became just kind of lost in development of other projects, and ultimately we now have it just sitting out there in the sun. But for anyone watching who has a lot of upfront capital and is interested in owning a premier launch coaster, feel free to reach out to me because I can put you in touch with the guy who owns that, and maybe we can see Speed the Ride come back.
That's awesome. I would like, because I know that there was there's right near there's like these two huge like concrete spires that are coming out of nowhere, which was supposed to be for a giant Ferris wheel that was going to be built there with a resort called London.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the
Yes.
two spikes. They're by the world's largest pinball museum.
Which I've been to, by the way.
Have you?
Oh yes, it's a great place. But
Agreed.
it was going to be like a big, huge, giant wheel that was going to compete with because Vegas already has one that's called the High Roller. High Roller.
That's right. High Roller.
And it was going to be one like that. It was going to be a London resort based off of London.
Yeah.
Big Ben Southern. It went bankrupt, and I think that Speed the Ride was supposed to go there.
Okay.
But I just heard that these two spires are going to be building a new casino that's going to be shaped like a heart. The building's going to be shaped like a heart. It's going to be like the Love or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
And that there's a possibility that they may bring the coaster over. So
That would be
from
cool.
Speed the Ride to Love the Ride, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe interesting. Hey, if Speed comes back, I'll take it. That's a coaster I would love to experience.
I got that credit.
That means you've ridden it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And how
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it? What's it like?
It was fine. It was. I don't know if that or Flight of Fear was my first launch coaster. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Both by Premier Rides, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was punchy. It was fine. I'm not a big fan of going backwards. Like I don't really like shuttle coasters personally.
Fair enough.
I'm old and I get sick, but no, it was a good ride. I think the thing I liked most about it was that they would let you ride twice. Like you would ride it and then it would complete, and then they go, "You want to ride it again?"
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah. So, and back in the day when they were operating it, it was pretty expensive for the time. I don't remember how much it was, but
Okay.
the only credits I never got were the ones that were at the MGM Grand. They had a little theme park there too, and it had I think one credit there or whatever. But the weirdest thing about that theme park was it was like a giant wall. They didn't let you kind of see the rides. You couldn't see them. And you had to like pay money to go in just so you could see them.
What?
And there was, I mean, maybe RCDB did exist, but I didn't know about it. So I was like, well, I want to see what the rides look like.
Yeah.
No. So, and I think I remember it was something like $25 or $30 to get in. So that's too rich for my blood. But you got to imagine it was like 2000 and actually I think it was maybe 2000. I think it was the year
Interesting.
2000. So
Huh.
anyway, well, sorry that you missed out on all the credits.
Maybe Friday.
maybe Friday.
If the winds cooperate.
Yeah. So well, the winds are no joke. I mean, just recently, if we want to be topical here, there's been a lot of rides that have valleyed recently. I don't know if you've been seeing this, but due to winds, we had what was the one? A Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland.
I did not see this. Did that valley?
Yes, it did.
Wow.
With high winds.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a giga coaster. Basically, it's one that's over 300 feet tall, and it valleyed, which is crazy. Meaning that it didn't. Sorry, I got to explain valley to the guests in the room. So with a roller coaster, and my bag of peanuts. Hey, M&M, it's you, Mars. If you want to sponsor us, you can. It goes over a hill, but if the wind was blowing it, it didn't make it back up the next hill, and so it just came back down again. And sometimes the section doesn't have brakes, so literally, you just have to wait for it to stop, and that can take up to 10 minutes. The other one that valleyed, which was amazing, was called I forget what it's called, but it's at Frontier City, the Aero. Shuttle coaster.
The lightning loops thing. The arrow shot. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I forget what it's called. People are going to scream.
I haven't been to that
right
park
now,
actually.
Get in the comments. I can't remember what it's called.
Someone tell us, please.
But it valleyed, which is crazy because what that does. Maybe I should bring.
Is it Diamondback? Is that the name? Diamondback? That might be the name.
Diamondback.
I think it might be Diamondback. I don't know. Someone quote me.
It goes. It's like has like a flat thing like this. Maybe I'll use a pen instead of my M&Ms. And it launches you. It's like you go down and you do a loop. And then it goes back up to another side that like basically mirrors, and then it catches, pulls you back, and then launches you again. And which is super crazy that if you watch the video, as it goes through the first loop and goes up right to where the catch should be, this massive gust of wind happens. You see the tree and you hear it in the audio recording, and it just goes.
Whoa!
And that's an old Aero coaster, so it was built like in the 90s, and it was probably a good 15 minutes with riders on it just waiting.
Wow.
For it to stop.
That's pretty cool.
It would go up the loop. And then I can imagine like,
I'd get so
get
sick.
Me off this thing.
Wow.
Have you ever had an experience like that? Have you ever been evac'd or anything like that?
Actually, I technically valleyed on the Arrow at CGA some years ago. Yeah, it was the final turn. I guess it's fairly common is what the team there was telling me. But yeah, we came around that final turn. We didn't actually make it into the final brake run. And we were sitting there for about 20 minutes. And finally, we had maintenance come over and they pushed us. They had like 3 guys get behind the train and they pushed us back into the station. That's probably the only valley type of experience I've had. But even then, I don't know if it really qualifies. I mean, we were only probably 10 feet short of the final brake run. But.
Well, but still being pushed is pretty cool. And that, I think, is the Demon, right? The Demon?
Yeah, Demon, that's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, that was interesting.
Yeah. How about you? Have you been on anything?
I don't think anything like that, like malfunctioning coasters. I mean, drop towers, but those are always a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, you've been evac'd off of a drop tower?
Well, not evac. We got stuck at the top, and we just we didn't know when it would drop at all.
Which one was that?
It was at Busch Gardens, I believe.
Tampa? Was that Falcons Fury? Is it Falcons Fury?
Yeah. Oh no way! So you were stuck facing down?
Yeah, we were just stuck up there, and they announced over. They were like, it may drop at any time. We were like, okay, like just waiting.
Yeah.
Again, to the guests in the room, Falcon's flight as you go up, your seats rotate. Falcon's Fury, not Falcon's Flight.
I think it's Falcon's Fury.
I'm
trying to remember. It's too many Falcons everything nowadays.
Too many Falcons. You go up and the seats rotate like this at the top, so you're basically in the skydive position facing straight down.
Yeah.
And that's where you were stuck in this face down position, and they're like, yeah, whatever, it's gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a cool.
Actually, was that the one we got on video? I think it's on YouTube on my channel. Actually, I think it's got like 300,000 views or something.
On YouTube,
yeah,
or?
we went up there and they did the tilt, and then it went back down to a standard seating position, and we actually got the drop on Falcon's Fury in a seated position. So we didn't drop.
Oh,
on
so
our stomachs.
so
We
you
got a
weren't
flat drop.
okay. So it did release from this position and it went down.
Correct. Yeah, but we went up to the top. I'm remembering this now. We went up to the top. You should check out the video if you guys want to watch the video. It's on my channel. It's still there.
Here, point into the corner really quick. It's gonna be right
there.
there.
Yeah, there.
Make a note to put it there.
Yeah, we went to the top of that tower. I'm totally remembering this. This was my uncle's first time, who is terrified of heights and rides, and so I felt awful. But we were at the top. I think we sat there for a good maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and they got on the system and they said, hey, there's high winds. We're just waiting for the winds to chill, and then we're going to drop you guys. It could be at any second, so we apologize for the bit of a surprise or scare there. And before we knew it, the seats went back into the seated position. I thought we were just going to be waiting to get pulled back up and then drop like normal. But no, out of nowhere, I heard one of the catch dogs or whatever let go, and we just fell.
That's so cool.
Yeah, check that video out. It's a cool video. People liked it. It was
Good
interesting.
views up there.
Yeah, the odds of me getting that on video were crazy. I happened to be filming that day, so. That
Well, yeah,
was
it's
strange.
like the Diamondback one that got filmed at Frontier City. Like, it was just so random that this girl was filming and like.
Was that off-ride or was it
Off-ride.
an on-ride video?
No, off-ride.
Off-ride, just chilling, just filming, and it's
Yeah,
just.
and you see the gust of wind. You see it. You know, she's like.
Yeah. You gotta send me that after this pod. I wanna check that out.
for sure.
That's cool.
I'll send that to you.
I like that.
I've never been evac or had anything like that. The closest thing I've ever had was when I, probably 2017 maybe. I was riding Tatsu, and the first lift hill on Tatsu was like pretty terrifying when you pass the trees. Because you're facing straight down, and Tatsu's really high up.
Yeah,
like it's
it's a
because it's
big
already on
ride.
top of the mountain, and you're kind of like facing down, and then it just stopped. I was like, oh, cool, and I wasn't scared. I was like, whoa, okay, and we're like right in the highest part, right? So then I kind of look around and I see X2 was stopped on the lift hill. I see the Viper was stopped on the lift hill, and I was like, holy cow, like what's going on? And the kid next to me started like freaking out.
Oh no!
Like he was freaking out. I said, no, it's fine. I don't know. Maybe it's a power out. Maybe there was an earthquake.
Yeah.
There's a earthquake. Oh my god! I said, no. The best place to be would be on a roller coaster during an earthquake because you would never know.
True.
I mean, if it was
True.
bad enough to kill you, you'd be like, oh, look, the train is now flying off the track. Well, all right, here we go. I mean, at least you're having fun. But worst way to go would be like in the bathroom or something like that. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it'd be a surprise. No doubt.
But sure enough, it started again. I was really hoping because Tatsu has a really cool rescue little train thingy that comes up. It's like
I don't think
gas
I've ever even
powered.
seen it. Interesting.
Oh, dude, it's so cool, dude. It's like. Again, I'm doing a lot of hand motions. Sorry, everybody. This is like puppet playdown. This is like Project Hail Mary time. You guys have seen that, right? Good reference. The train goes up, and if it stops, you're in the seated position, and then, like Falcon's Fury, they'll bring the seats back down, but there's nothing below you, and they can't. There's no stairs.
Right.
They don't have stairs the whole way.
For those unaware, Tatsu, you are
Flying
suspended
coaster, yeah.
under the track. So that's why when he says there's nothing beneath you, you're underneath the track in a Superman kind of flying position.
I'll insert a photo. Post-production.
Yeah.
So they have this little gas-powered vehicle. It's like a little rescue vehicle that comes up and it just like rides on its own dedicated rail.
That's cool.
And it just like it has like a little platform, and then they'll just have you get on the platform, then you can like come back down. Oh, dude, it would be so
I've always
cool.
wondered how they do that on flying coasters. I actually did not know that.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So I've never had that, but I actually, to your point, I have seen and heard that with Drop of Doom, when Drop of Doom gets stuck, that they used to not have an announcement.
Oh.
So you just dropped whenever you drop.
Yeah.
Which to me would be the ultimate credit.
Yeah.
Because you're already scared, right?
Yeah, Drop of Doom's huge.
It's huge.
It's a terrifying ride.
Yeah.
I still get scared, and
Yeah.
I've ridden so many rides, and that
Yeah.
ride still freaks me out.
Dude, it's like, you're sitting up there, and so you're kind of getting over your fear of just sitting up there, and then, because the big nerd that I am, I know that it takes exactly 6 Mississippi before it drops, right? Once you finally hit the top, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, right?
Yeah,
and then it'll drop. But so you get to that point, and it doesn't drop, and it doesn't drop, and you're like, what's going on? And so then you have about 30 seconds to where you're probably really freaking out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then probably after 30 seconds, maybe a minute, you start to relax a little bit. And, you kind of be like, okay, so clearly something's wrong. Okay, whatever. I'm just kind of chilling now.
Right.
And then you just kind of relax, and then bam, that would be.
They're making me shake, dude. Ugh.
That would be, to me, that would be so cool. But now they have a
man.
communication. Now they say, sorry, we're working on it, and they actually,
good.
I actually heard they say, preparing to drop.
Do
Yeah,
they?
What
Okay.
a bummer that they have safety features in communication now.
Lame.
Bro,
we want Wisconsin Dells rules here.
one of my earliest memories as a kid. This was pre-enthusiast. This was when I was just kind of living in California doing whatever. I came up here when I was 13. And I remember vividly, Drop of Doom was one of those rides that just freaked me out. And one of my first visits to Magic Mountain, I had a hard cast on because I broke my arm skateboarding. And
So from California, man.
Drop of Doom happened to be one of like 3 rides in the park they would let me do with the hard cast. Viper was one of them. Drop of Doom was another. I'm not sure why Viper was allowed. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
They just needed guests. Like, please, you just come ride us. We don't care.
But yeah, I remember I went to Drop of Doom. I was terrified. I was crying before we rode it. I rode it, and I wasn't aware at the time, this was back when Superman was operating, that when Superman climbed the tower, this whole thing would, I'm probably exaggerating, but it felt like the tower swayed 10 feet to each side.
Yeah.
And I remember we went to Drop of Doom. We had a temporary stall on top, and I was already horrified because we were so high up there. You know, I was scared of Tower of Terror, and so getting on this thing which is way bigger than Tower of Terror.
Yeah, like 400 feet.
Yeah, it's huge. I remember sitting up there freaking out, and then Superman dispatches, climbs up the side, and I'm sitting there. And keep in mind too, you know, Drop of Doom, you're not very, like, you're secure, but it feels so open because the way the restraints is. It kind of feels like a lap bar.
Yeah, by design.
So you're sitting there, and the tower's shaking. I'm a little kid. I'm freaking out. Superman's launching. It's not working how it's supposed to. Meanwhile, you know, my dad's next to me. He's just laughing, having the best time ever watching me freak out. And so Drop of Doom has a special place in my heart because it still scares me to this day. It's one of probably 3 or 4 rides on the planet that I still sit down and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a big ride.
Yeah. Have you ever been on it?
Yeah, no, plenty.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that Superman credit is so fun because it's called the sway ride. People like that sway ride, you know.
I do miss it. It adds it's an underrated element of intensity.
No good? No good? You don't like drop towers?
I never done it before.
No?
Hatsu and Lily haven't really done roller coasters at all. So this will be a first for them when we visit the park in a couple days.
I'm
Excellent.
scared of Tower of Terror.
Which one are you? Oh, Tower of Terror?
Yeah.
I'll give you a story of Tower of Terror. So I have an 11-year-old son right now, and when he was, maybe 5 or 6, we took him to Disneyland. I mean, we took him there before, but you know, when he was kind of finally tall enough to ride things, and we purposely did not tell him what Tower of Terror did. It was Mission Breakout at this time. It had been converted,
right?
And so, you know, we were, and the thing is, Mission Breakout's a little bit better because especially when after the queue of the elevator and you're into that. It used to be a boiler room, you know.
Right, I remember
it was like
that.
really kind of scary as a boiler room when it was Tower of Terror. That room could have been scary in and of itself because it's like where are we? You know, like thinking about Freddy Krueger. But so I'll tell you that the Mission Breakout is great. So the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's really fun. You know, you're there to kind of help out. And then so when he got on the ride, you know, the ride op was really nice, and the people who were riding with us were cool. And they were like, "Oh, you got this, buddy. You know, you got this." He's like, "Okay." And he sits down and he's having fun. And then it goes up and it starts doing its thing. And you can see him. He was like, it's a fun ride. It's scary, but it's fun. But you know, he was kind of nervous. But the cool thing is there was all the people on the ride vehicle were very, very, very supportive of this little kid.
Nice.
And he walked away maybe a little bit traumatized. But the fact that people would come up to him and gave him high five, you know, and I think it was kind of like a cool moment for him to go, you know what, I did it, I conquered it. So, you know, I think that people will probably pick up on that. If you're going and you're a little bit nervous, he'll be there too. You know what I mean? So,
Are you gonna be?
I'll be there. Don't worry, I won't send you alone. Hopefully.
But I think the thing about Mission Breakout Tower of Terror is just the initial one where you don't know when you're going to drop it. And it's a randomized sequence, so it's never the same.
Right.
But there is a moment where it goes, where it doesn't stop, because sometimes it'll go like, you know. But the best part is when it goes up and doesn't even stop, and then just comes down because the floater is so
great.
It's a single drop.
Yeah. Or no, Mission Breakout Tower of Terror, you've done that before. They have a bunch of drops. Drop of Doom is just one.
Oh wait, she's doing Drop of Doom. Was I talking about the completely wrong ride this entire time?
No, you're right. We were on both. So we were.
She's about the wrong.
I do have a question.
Hey, but it's a cool story though, right?
So has your son done Drop of Doom?
Yes, he has. So
okay.
I do have a fun story about my son on Drop of Doom. So my son for a while there was kind of getting in trouble at his summer camp, and he had the summer camp call me and be like, hey, he's kind of doing stuff he's not supposed to do. And God, how old was he? 6. He was 6, 7.
Oh
gosh.
no.
Blah, blah. But he's the right age for that. But so I said, next time it happens, we've got to think of a punishment, and I couldn't think of the right punishment to do.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Exactly. But he's a roller coaster kid. The thing is, Mini Me, he's actually ridden more coasters at Magic Mountain than I have because he's able to get the Magic Flyer credit.
R.I.P.
Yeah, so he's officially ridden every single ride there, and I haven't done that. So, anyway, so I just pick him up from summer camp, and I just was quiet. And he's like, "Where are we going, Dad?" And I just, doing the whole "Dad, I'm disappointed" thing rather than being angry, just kind of like the silent treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we drive over to Magic Mountain. He's like, "Why are we going to Magic Mountain?" Let's go. Let's go. And we get in, and I walk right into the queue for Drop of Doom, and he's like, no. I'm like, sorry, buddy, And it was so funny because when he got, kids are squirrely, right?
Right.
So we sit down, and I go to put his restraint. I pick because he couldn't sit down on it, so I pick him up, set him down, then I go to take my loose articles out, and by the time I had turned my back, I didn't put his restraint down. Boom. I mean, he'd gone. Boom. I was like, no, come back. So, I had to go grab him. Yeah. And I talked with him for a little bit. I said, hey, listen, man, this is your punishment. It's either this or you could be grounded. What would you like to do?
Wow.
And so.
And did he choose Drop of Doom?
He did, but what I had to tell him is I said, just close your eyes.
Yeah.
I said, literally, you've been on an airplane.
Right.
Which is.
It's not the right thing to say. It's terrifying.
35,000 feet. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Drop of Doom, as you're going up.
Yeah.
It literally feels no different than from a takeoff from an airplane. You just don't have any forward momentum.
Yeah.
Like if you just look out onto the horizon, say like, I prefer north facing side versus south facing side, so you can see the mountain.
Fair enough.
And as you're going up, if you just look at the mountain back there, I mean, literally, it's just like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it's like when you take off from an airplane. I mean, it feels no different.
It kind of does look similar. Yeah, now that you bring it up, it totally does. Yeah.
I mean, if you look down or you look up, well, actually, looking up might not be as terrifying, but if you went like, like that, then you'd be like, whoa, I'm high. But I think just looking straight out is the best way to go. Looking down is kind of scary, but
it is. Yeah.
But I said, just keep your eyes closed. I will tell you when we're about to drop because again, it's how many Mississippi, everybody?
6 Mississippi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said, here we go. And then he said he did open his eyes as we dropped.
Okay.
But he was like so proud, and I said, that was probably my best parenting moment of all time. What a punishment, right?
What a story too.
You have to ride a ride, which is awesome. But
I love it.
Yeah, let's drop of Doom.
I love it.
Don't be afraid of Drop of Doom. Actually, you know what? It's okay to be afraid. My wife was absolutely. She will never ride it again. And my wife's favorite roller coaster is X2.
X2?
Yes. She loves
my mom
X2.
it's hers as well.
But she will not ride Drop of Doom.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known my wife for many, 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 many years. And that's the only time in my knowing her that I've ever heard a blood-curdling fear. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Even though I told her, so we're about to drop, she's like, I was like, I didn't know you could make that sound. That was pretty cool.
Oh, man.
But the cool thing about it is that it actually drops faster than your terminal velocity. I think it goes like 80 something miles an hour.
I think it hits 90.
It's
pretty close.
Yeah.
I think you're in the right range.
Again, get in the comments. Correct me, everybody.
Correct me as well. Yeah, please.
Exactly. But it's actually not that bad because I think you quickly reach that, whatever that terminal velocity is, you reach it within about, I don't know how you call it, maybe like a breath. Have you ever jumped off a big cliff into water?
Absolutely.
Kieran definitely has.
Yes.
Avid cliff
Jesiah
jumper
both.
amongst us. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this like kind of thing where you're just kind of like, sometimes when it's a high enough cliff, it's a two breather. You're like, then you go in, you know what I mean? A two breather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drop of Doom is not. Drop of Doom is a one, like, and then you quickly have reached your terminal velocity, meaning that you don't have that feeling of falling anymore. You can feel yourself accelerating, but the feeling of falling isn't there anymore. And you can hear the air's like, and so you're like, oh, okay. Like that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then the brakes come and you're like, oh! oh, and the brakes are probably my least favorite part of that ride. But just because it's it's a soft catch, but it's just like it's an eddy current. So
it's a cool ride. It's a cool ride. I'm excited to see the reactions from Hatsu and Lily on Thursday.
You guys will like it.
You will.
It's something that you definitely have to conquer. I would say that you will feel good once you conquer it.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like it's. Yeah, just think of it. If you can ride north side, south side's fine, but it does drop faster, and it's just not as cool. Like I don't think the view is good. You can see most of the park though. I mean I think the sense of being high is on the south side. So this one that faces you see the freeway, you see the parking lot, you can see like X2, you can see Viper, which is nice. But I think that the sense of being high is on that side. But if you the north side, really you just stare at the horizon and you go, this is beautiful.
Yeah,
like this is really, really nice. And then it's going to trick you. Lex Luthor is going to come on. He's going to talk. It used to be synced up. It's not anymore. He says something like, you're at the pinnacle of your pitiful existence or something like that. And he goes, ha, 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 ha. And it goes,
yeah.
But it's supposed to drop there, but it doesn't. You'll feel it lock. It'll go like, 6 Mississippi, I promise you.
One thing now that you're talking about the experience, I'm just reliving memories as a kid. Another thing I love about this ride, 2 things. One, when you're on the south side and you're going up, I remember as a kid, Goliath is a big ride. Goliath's huge, right?
Oh, yeah.
And on Drop of Doom, you sync up with Goliath and you're like, we gotta be getting close to the top. And you've been going the same pace up Drop of Doom, and then all of a sudden you hear a click and you're like, okay, we're probably there. And you're not there. The cable just starts spinning, and you accelerate, and then you fly past Goliath, and you start towering.
You start looking
Goliath.
down.
Yeah, you looking down on Goliath, which is I think it's the tallest coaster operating in California. Was it
250?
I think 235 height, 255 drop.
Yeah.
I'm such a nerd. But yeah, when you're on Drop of Doom and you start going up and you pass Goliath, and all of a sudden Goliath's beneath your feet, and you're looking at it like it's tiny. It looks like a kiddie coaster, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the reason why you go faster is because of those brakes, believe it or not. So
I didn't know this.
You want to get nerdy? I'm going to get.
I want to get nerdy. Let's hear it.
I'm going to get nerdy.
Let's get nerdy.
Okay, so magnetic eddy current brakes is what it uses. So it actually doesn't use friction brakes, and it's actually frictionless. It uses a non. What's it called? A neodymium magnet. It's basically a non-conductive metal. In this case, they use stainless steel, which is non-magnetic. You can use copper as well, and it's these fins that are on the ride. You'll see them. They're these fins, and those are a non-magnetic metal. And as you're on the ride vehicle itself, is a little slot of strong magnets. And as you're going up, the cable is pulling you through. Have you ever tried to take 2 magnets and you try to push them together and you kind of feel that force? Do you know what I mean? Like that's basically what's happening. And so it's cable's pulling you past that. Once you get past those fins, you go a lot faster.
I never knew that's what that was.
Yes, the magnetics are no longer have you.
I always thought it was an intentional thing the park did just to scare riders. I didn't realize
that'd be cool. Hey, Intamin, you dirty dogs.
Intamin.
But yeah, so you're free of the eddy current brakes, and so the reason why they do that is because there's no you don't have to have no maintenance. It's not like your car with brake pads and rotors. It uses. So when you are dropping, and you'll hear it, and you slow down, but it's designed in such a way that the carriage is heavier than the eddy current itself and gravity, and that's why it goes and slowly brings you to a stop.
That's
Isn't
sweet.
That cool?
I love that.
Magnets, how do they work?
Genius.
It's got to be magic.
Exactly. But man, this is what this podcast is all about: is just nerd stuff, and trying to out nerd each other. Like speaking about out nerding each other. You were just in like Asia and specifically Korea, China, stuff like that for 400 years. Like what's going on? Like you were there for a long time. Tell me about this trip.
Yeah, I was there for 6.5 weeks. This was after a week break in between 5 weeks in Australia. So I've been I've been on the move
Nerd
for
alert.
a while. Yeah, major nerd alert if you're wondering. But yeah, no, we just did a 6.5 week tour of China. We did 44 different individual amusement parks. I believe that was the number. And I clocked,
Wow.
I think, close to 120 unique roller coasters. It was a
Incredible.
very large trip. Definitely the biggest one I've ever done, but one that was much needed and very, very fun. There are some great coasters over in China if you weren't aware.
Well, that's the thing. You know, there's so many coasters in China, and I think not until just recently, with you and a couple other content creators, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't really being covered by at least U.S. based enthusiasts.
Right.
You know, you had I'm going to say her name wrong, but there's like Maya Mayan or Misa
Mia Pamasin, aka
Yeah.
Roller Coaster Dream.
Yeah.
Shout out Candice. Love you,
Yeah,
Candice.
super cool. You know, and I was going to that site to check out all the POVs from the coasters
Yeah.
over there in China, and just I was like, man, it's so untouched right now. So I'm grateful that you and some other content creators have gone over there. But
Totally.
I mean, it's wild. It seems like they have just like unlimited resources to just build.
It's crazy when you get over there. There was a lot of things that we just weren't expecting to see.
Yeah.
A lot of these parks are built on a scale that it's almost incomprehensible. When I went for my first time, I'll give you an example park. We did Dragon Huachong Valley, which is out kind of near Hefei, where some of you might know or heard of Hefei Sunac Land. But this park has a Vekoma launch coaster. And we went there for the Vekoma coaster, not really expecting much from the park. I thought it'd be kind of a small, like, you know, they put most of their investment into this one ride, and that might be it. But it ended up being the largest theme park I've ever visited. And we were our group was a group of, we had 4 people that day, and there were 8 total guests in the whole park. And this park was probably triple, maybe quadruple the size of Magic Mountain. And Magic Mountain's huge.
Was it just an off day, or what's going on?
No, I've heard that park just doesn't get guests. Even on holidays, they see a few crowds, but that's just how it is, I guess. And a lot of the parks ended up being that way when we visited. Outside of the holidays, which there's a lot in China, on just a regular average park day in China, a lot of these amusement parks are just very empty.
And they remain open. That's crazy.
Yeah. I believe I couldn't pinpoint which chains, but I do believe some are also involved with the government funding stuff. So I think the government also helps aid in that. So I know there's a mix of things and private investment, but I don't know enough about the economy and whatever over there.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. No, it was a very interesting observation when we went, and definitely unexpected for sure.
Right. So that's crazy. So what would you say? I'm not going to say you're number one. Like, what's your grouping of the ones that you were looking forward to riding, and then the ones that surprised you, and then the ones that I don't know, maybe weren't as good. You know, let's go through the whole gambit.
Yeah. So let me see if I can name some of the bigger ones that a lot of you probably would have heard of or maybe seen pictures of at least. I'm trying to think. You know, the tallest coaster in China is Coaster Through the Clouds. This is in Nanchang Sunac Land. That's an Intamin coaster. A lot of people call it the Millennium Force of China. That's a big one. Of course, you have Dino Conda, the newest sibling to X2 and Ejinika. Ejinika being in Japan. We have X2 very close to here. So you got Dino Conda, Coaster Through the Clouds. We had the Mach the Mach launch coaster. This is the world's fastest inversion, from what I'm told.
Right.
World. We have that one, which was cool, called Beyond the Cloud. Other big ones, I'm just trying to think. There are so many on this trip. It's wild. We had Dueling Dragons. Have you seen the red and green?
Dueling
Intamin?
Dragons is my bucket list coaster.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. But yeah, I guess I can talk about a couple. I would say,
let's start with the ones that you were looking forward to riding the most, unless that's what you mentioned.
No, sure, yeah. Oh, okay. Looking forward to riding the most. Of course, Dino Conda. For those who don't know, prior to China, Ejinika is my number 1 coaster. X2 is very, very closely followed as my number 2. I'm a big fan of those. So Dino Conda, of course, being, if you don't know, there's 3 of the 4Ds built. There's X2, Dino Conda, Ejinika. Dino Conda was the last one I've been missing for a long time. So that was definitely the most anticipated and probably 50% of the reason I wanted to do a coaster tour in China.
Yeah.
Other than that, Beyond the Cloud, world's fastest inversion, was definitely a very much looking forward to attraction.
Did it take that from Max Force?
Yes, it did. It did. And I don't know
is
the
in
exact
Chicago.
number on the roll, but it is fast and you feel it. Other coasters that were bucket list, Coaster Through the Clouds was definitely a big one. I mean, that ride just towers over everything. It's got some cool skyscrapers behind it, kind of matches the skyline, so it just looks big. We had some cool wooden coasters, Python and Bamboo Forest. That's another very large roller coaster. So I'd say those are probably a good start for coasters that I was very much anticipating and looking forward to.
And did they live up to your anticipation?
All but, and I say this lightly because I don't like the amount of hate this ride gets, but yes, Coaster Through the Clouds was admittedly a little underwhelming.
Hey, I think Millennium Force is underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of slack for that, but I go, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, it's a, I think most people, enthusiasts in the general public, will look at that ride and think, oh my gosh, there's probably crazy airtime. It's probably terrifying. And then you ride it, and it ends up being more of just like a speed machine. It's more just for
it's Millennium Force. That's what it's Millennium Forceless.
Yeah. And unless you ride it in the front row, it honestly is kind of a boring ride. Like, you kind of got to do it in the front. Back row, you get a little bit of airtime off the drop, but honestly,
and that's no shade on Intamin, because we love Intamin, and Intamin has done some amazing things.
Intamin does awesome.
They can't all be Hyperion.
If we want to bring Intamin into this, I'll tell you a coaster they built that did blow me away, which I heard was not that great, was Soaring with Dragon at Hefe Sunak Land. Soaring with Dragon, if you guys don't know, was kind of like the precursor to Velocicoaster. It was their first, I believe it was their first swing launch, actually. That ride was just incredible. It was so much fun. I would even say, take theming aside and just look at the coaster itself, I actually like it more than Velocicoaster.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was great.
And so then, what were some coasters that along that same vein that you kind of went in not, kind of like, oh yeah, I want to ride it, but like it kind of was like, whoa, that's crazy. I didn't expect that.
This sounds so weird. Like, no matter how many times I do the ride or think I know what to expect, Dinoconda was terrifying. It is a horrifying ride.
And it's not as big as Egenica.
No,
it's bigger than X2, but not as big as Egenica. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. It's in the middle of the two.
So it's kind of like the Goldilocks of the 4D coasters, I would say.
Yeah,
they perfected it.
Yeah,
cool.
It's a pretty intense ride. I hadn't seen a lot of POVs on this before. It was an interesting process to get the permissions to film on that with them, but we did, which I'm happy, because now we got some of the first videos along with the other content creators that were there with us. Big shout out to them. They did a lot for us in helping us secure the ability to film on that ride. But
only shout outs if they come on my show.
Yeah. You know who you are. Hit them up.
I know who they are too. They'll come on the show. They're friends.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary ride. We actually, I'll give you a quick story on Dinoconda, because this was a hard ride to do for us. We initially had it set up with the park to film on a certain day, and they sent us a WeChat. WeChat is what, WeChat would be the equivalent of Instagram in China. That's kind of how people communicate and post or whatever. And
he's been to China.
I've been to China. We got a text from the park, and they said, hey, just so you know, Dinoconda's down for different reasons. They're doing some maintenance on it, and so we had to reschedule to come back. Some of our friends, actually, who were on their own coaster tour we were meeting up with, were on a shorter tour than us, and they had flights leaving the next week, and so there was a strong chance they were going to miss the ride. And luckily, like 2 days before they were scheduled to fly out, the park sent back and said, hey, we do have it operational. So we dropped all of our plans, everything we were doing that day, and we all just booked it over to China Dinosaurs, and we were able to do Dinoconda. So much so that day, that was actually the only attraction and thing I did in that park, and I did not, even now, I've not seen any more of the park or done any other coasters there. I've just done Dinoconda at China Dinosaurs.
Well, you're in good company. I haven't seen anything there either, so don't worry about it.
It's an incredible ride. I'm sure a lot of you watching have probably ridden X2. I'm sure that's probably going to be the most, more so than Dinoconda and Egenica.
At least the most accessible for the US-based people.
Yeah, and it's X2, but just on a next level platform. It's pretty incredible.
Well, X2 was a prototype, and so it's still an amazing ride. But obviously, when Aero went bankrupt because of that ride, arguably, that when SNS took it over, they said, okay, let's see what we can figure out. Let's see what we can push, and let's see what we can tweak and what we can smooth out. And that's what resulted in Egenica.
Right.
And then they were probably like, okay, Egenica might be a little bit too big.
Yeah.
And maybe people don't like the little bowing thing that it does in the brake run.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can fine tune it even more. And that's why it's called the Goldilocks. It's that they've figured it out. It would be awesome if some park around the world ordered another one of these from SNS, because it's still available on their website.
Yeah.
And then just see how good it would be now. Like,
totally.
If, I don't know.
They figured a lot out. I will shout out El Toro Ryan's video he just did on X2. That was a very well-made video, and he goes into a lot of depth on the transformative process that SNS did when they took it from Aero and turned it into Egenica and then Dinoconda. I thought he had a
For
lot
those of you who are
curious.
unfamiliar, El Toro Ryan, see what I did there? El Toro Ryan is another YouTube content creator
Yeah.
who makes really cool long form content. Sort of mini documentaries, I would say, on rides and stuff like that. He's a good job. And he also does a coaster, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what was a park or a ride or both that you were disappointed in? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I can talk about it. One, maybe I'll talk about...
Disappointed is wrong. Maybe just it didn't meet your expectations.
You know what? I know exactly what to talk about here. Dueling Dragons. Dueling Dragons at Guangzhou Sunac Land. Beautiful coaster. Looks amazing. It's a dueling... You have an inverted side and you have a sit-down side. And in theory, they're supposed to duel. The park is very open about this, so I can say this, but they do not duel them ananymore for reasons I don't actually know.
Nobody knows.
But what they do is they'll operate one side one day, and then they'll flip it and operate the other side the next day. Oh my gosh, the process to ride this, it took us like 2 weeks of just figuring out how to get it. But we did end up riding both sides. And it took a lot more work to do the sit-down side, which is the red one. And I got to say, the inverted side, amazing. That is a 8, maybe a 9 out of 10 coaster for me. The red side, like a 3. I didn't enjoy the red side. And maybe that was because of all the hassle to get there and do it or whatever. But even taking that aside, that was probably the most disappointing experience of the trip for me, was the red side of that coaster.
You know, that's interesting because a lot of times people who have been to China will say it's disappointing because they'll make it all the way to that park and maybe the side that they want isn't operating, or maybe the ride itself isn't even operating.
Yeah.
So that's so sad.
And that's one thing we are very grateful for is I spent probably 3 months before this trip just setting up permissions to film at these parks, and I didn't realize that a major benefit of that was just knowing that rides will be open, because I do have a lot of friends who've done their own coaster tours, and they've told me, they invested, all this money and time to get out to an obscure park, and then they show up and the ride's just not operating. And sometimes, in some cases, it hasn't been forever. Wood Coaster at Night Valley, that looks like one of the best wooden roller coasters in the world, and I recently found out it's probably never coming back. And that's a coaster we would have probably made the trek out to do. So crazy.
So what's a coaster that you we have other guests in the studio. What's one that you sticks out for you? Like where have you been? Like what's your most exotic location that you've been for a coaster riding?
That's a good question. I mean, I've traveled a couple places with Jesiah. I live in Florida at the moment, so of course around me you have Busch Gardens, Universal, all these places.
Sure.
But we just recently went up to Ohio. Did some roller coasters over there that were pretty amazing, pretty good.
Which ones?
I'm so bad at remembering the names of them.
It's okay. You've got some nerds in the room.
I can step in.
These gals will help you. They know all of them, right?
Of course they do.
Top Thrill. Is that ringing a bell?
Top Thrill 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Excellent ride. Ride. That was like the first coaster of that kind that I had ever ridden.
Oh,
before.
Cool.
Definitely the fastest coaster I've ever ridden.
Great.
For sure. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and we rode it a couple of different times that day. We rode it at night. I really loved the night ride all the way back row. It was amazing.
Yeah, so that's in Cedar Point for those who don't know. That's Cedar Point. It used to be Top Thrill Dragster, and I only have it as Top Thrill Dragster, so I did get that credit. I'm actually going to, here's a spoiler. Maybe people will be watching this afterwards. I am going to Cedar Point next month, so I'll get to ride. Yeah, so
I'm hearing of it. Cool.
Yeah, so I'll get to ride Top Thrill 2 for the first time. So what about it? It was just the speed, or what? Just the whole experience? The first swing launch, or?
Yeah, no, I had never ridden a coaster like that before, so it was really, I don't know, it was just cool for me to see how it worked, because obviously it boosts you forward, up, and then you go back, and like it just kept going up, and I was like, well, we must be at the top now, and then it kept going up even more, and I was like, okay, here we go. And it's just like, it's insanely how fast it accelerates to its top speed, and like, yeah, I don't even understand how it does it, but it does apparently. So
let me tell you a little bit about magnets. No, I'm just kidding. But it does use magnets. But no, that's cool because I guess we're a little bit, and Jesiah will say we're a little bit spoiled here in Southern California because we've had that. We almost exclusively had that feeling of a backwards launch with Superman: The Escape from Krypton.
That's right.
It used to launch forward. And that, which was fun, would go 100 miles an hour and go up about 400 feet and it would drop down. But sponsored by Smartwater. I mean, I should say a potential sponsor, Smartwater. But they switched the trains to be backwards. And I liked it better when it was backwards because of that feeling of you're going launching 100 miles an hour. And the thing about Top Thrill 2 is the same. There's that long kind of run up time before you start going backwards. And so you're launching and then you go, and then just that feeling of all of a sudden just looking down and you're going up while looking down is just a wild feeling. It's wild. So we've had that for a while. So it's nice to see people who are Midwest or the East Coast who can get to Cedar Point a lot more easily than Magic Mountain, be able to finally experience that crazy 400 plus feet backwards launch feeling.
Totally.
I mean, what's it called? Pantheon does do that now, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as long, but you kind of get the idea. But it's Top Thrill 2 is where it's at.
Top Thrill 2 is incredible. I was admittedly very skeptical of the ride, and after
A lot of people were.
riding it, like, it sounds weird to say because I'm such a fan of the hydraulic launches. Like, I loved Ka. I still think Ka was better than Dragster for me personally, but I gotta hand it to Zamperla and Cedar Point. I mean, I know it had its issues for a while, but ultimately, I think it's a great ride, and I actually prefer it in its current form over Dragster. I love it. So
Cool. I'm excited to experience it. What else at Cedar Point stuck out to you? And if you don't know the name, that's fine. Just start describing it with your hands, like I was doing, and we'll and we'll name it for you.
What's the big wooden one?
Steel Vengeance.
Still Vengeance. Nice. The RMC.
I really liked. Yeah, I'm a big fan of RMC coasters.
Sure.
Didn't they RMC Wildcat?
Yeah,
I actually haven't been to that one
Interesting.
since they RMC'd it. I rode it when it was a wooden coaster, and it was horrible. So hopefully the RMC is better.
Well, that's what RMC does. They would take horrible rides, and some not so horrible, but the rides are just feeling long in the tooth, and they make them awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of Colossus, but Twisted Colossus is amazing.
Love it.
So that'll be a fun ride for you guys. I think you'll really enjoy.
Yeah.
Twisted Colossus. It's my favorite in the park. It's really wild. So,
I love it.
But yeah, Steel Vengeance. Well, you're in good company because Steel Vengeance is a lot of people still. It's their number one coaster. I think it's one of the very first cases. And Jesiah, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was like one of the very first cases where RMC, when they were doing a lot of these conversions, and again, for those who don't know, it's Rocky Mountain Construction based out of Idaho. They came up with this idea with wooden coasters need a lot of maintenance. They need to bring in carpenters to retract them, and it was just cost parks a lot of money. That's why wooden coasters kind of get rattly, because they're like, we don't want to spend all this money to fix this ride because it's made out of wood. They came up with this idea to refresh those rides and make them much more easy to maintain. And they said, in the process of that, let's just add inversions. Let's add crazy overbanking. Let's do something crazy. And it's been really successful for them. But, they were kind of working with Six Flags at first to kind of do it. I mean, Iron Rattler and New Texas Giant, they're great. But it wasn't like, they kind of were limited with their footprints and limited with the budget. Not that they're very expensive, but I think, I could be wrong, but I really think that Steel Vengeance was the very first time. And there used to be a ride that was called Mean Streak. That's what it was called, and nobody would ride it.
Yeah.
It's a massive coaster, but no one would ride it because it was so rough. And so you have this big eyesore. And so when Cedar Point took that risk, because they saw the success of what RMC was doing with Six Flags coasters. They used to be separate companies, everybody. That they threw money at them, said, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And so we got to see truly what RMC could do when the money was no object.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And that's what you got Still Vengeance, which people still count as their number one. And then you had Zadra that was built because Poland didn't want to be outdone by America. So they said, we will build one bigger. And then you had Busch Gardens, who built Iron Gwazi. Have you been on that one yet?
Yeah, I've ridden Iron Gwazi.
Gwazi's fantastic.
It was the first time last year, I think.
I think so, yeah. Tieran's dad, they live pretty close to Busch Gardens, Tampa. And Tieran's dad, he'll lap that all day. He can't stop talking about that ride. It's
Tieran's
awesome.
dad.
Shout out to Devin. Yeah.
But yeah, again, that was Busch Gardens saying, can you outdo Steel Vengeance, please? Mm-hmm. That's why, because if you remember Gwazi, maybe you didn't.
I actually never rode it.
Yeah, Gwazi was a dueling wooden coaster made by GCI.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be top tier. It was supposed to be really, really good, but it just, Florida weather and it just required a lot of upkeep.
Yep.
And so Iron Gwazi is fantastic. I wish it had a little more theming, but boy, it's a great ride. So
can you imagine if, I'm just going to throw this out there, people always talk about what if they RMC'd the Beast, but can you imagine if RMC was around when Son of Beast would still have been RMC a bowl? And,
I think they would have
taking,
fixed
like,
it.
I think it would have been amazing because you would have had the Beast, and then you would have had the RMC massive Son of Beast, which I think could have, based on that layout, I can only imagine the things RMC might have done with Son of Beast.
Oh, they could have easily
Yeah.
made it work. I don't think they would have done a vertical loop. Maybe they would have, just to kind of, they would have figured it out. Maybe they would have kept the vertical loop. Who knows?
Would have been interesting. That'd be cool to see.
RMC hasn't done a vertical
yeah,
loop
they haven't.
yet.
Yeah. Wow. RMC, you listening?
Darren, are you listening? But no, the coasters in Ohio are awesome. Did you go to Kings Island as well?
Yeah, we did. And that's where the Beast is, right? Kings
Correct.
Island. Yeah, so that was also my first time riding the Beast, and that is there's a reason it's called the Beast.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Was it a night ride?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
So the first time I ever rode it, pitch black. Didn't even know what was going on, but it was fun. So,
Yeah.
Still one of the longest coasters in existence.
Well, it felt forever. Like, it was
It's a long ride.
Yeah. They kind of cheat with two lift hills, but we don't talk about it. But no, that's cool. I actually really liked Orion. I thought Orion was immaculate. I haven't been on any other gig-esque type of coaster like that one.
Yeah.
Other than Millennium Force.
Yeah.
And I would say Orion's way better than Millennium Force, personally.
I love Orion. Yeah.
I think it's great.
It's another ride that I think people don't appreciate enough. I think it's a fantastic coaster. I've had so many good memories on that ride. It's incredible.
Well, it's just like one of those things where it's kind of like, for me, like Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. It's like, just like when you can spend money on something and it's just, I don't know. It's like, how do I say? It's like a fine Swiss watch. Does that make sense? It's like, you look at like Flight of Fear in the same park, and it's a cool ride, it's themed, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's kind of janky, and you're like, okay, it's so fun, but it's cool. Then you get on Orion, and it's like, it is just like, it's the engineering of it all. You look at the lift hill, you look at the station, you look at the control panel, and it's like, man, or maybe it's like a Ferrari, compared to like a Datsun 300Z. Not that there's anything wrong with the Datsun 300Zs; those are freaking awesome cars, but it's not a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
And so that's just how I felt about Orion. So
Yeah.
I want to get these gals in on this conversation. I know you didn't want to talk, but have you ever ridden any roller coaster before?
Yeah, I have. But like
What's your earliest memory of a roller coaster? Let's get that microphone.
earliest,
Yeah.
maybe like Tokyo Disney.
Oh, really? At
Yeah.
Tokyo Disney. Which roller coaster was it? Indiana Jones?
Can't remember. Maybe the Dumbo one. It's not even a roller coaster.
I think you told me she rode Raging Spirits, the little Intamin single looper there. It's like technically it's a multi-inversion, I think, but it's got one loop. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I don't
It's just an Intamin. It's an Intamin.
I'm not a Disney follower. It's not that I don't like Disney. I just don't really.
Fair enough.
I have friends that are, so that's why I've experienced it through them. So Tokyo Disney is were your first experience. Did you ride any other ones like?
I went to Tokyo Disney Sea,
Mm,
the Disney in California,
yeah.
and the Universal Studio, Hollywood, and then Lagoon.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice. Lagoon. Did you go on Cannibal?
I think I did, yeah. It was like 10 years ago, so I can't really remember which one I rode.
Cannibal's the one that has the elevator lift that goes up, and then and it has like a beyond vertical
Oh,
jump.
yeah, I think I did, yeah.
Yes, good for you. That's a great
That
coaster.
was
It
really
is.
fun.
Cannibal's fun.
Nice. So you never did like Thunder Dolphin, which is like one of my bucket list roller coasters.
I asked you. That's one at Tokyo Dome City. It's a big gray one.
It's like built on top of
Yeah,
a skyscraper, and it goes through like a loop.
Yeah. She's been to was it a Hello Kitty park? It was like a small park you've
Yeah,
been to.
the
Yeah, it was like a
Surreal
Hello Kitty.
Hero
I didn't even know
one.
it existed, but yeah. It's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, what about you? What have you ever been on a roller coaster? Have you?
Yeah, but when I was like 11,
Which ride was it? Will you point the microphone at her?
um,
And she doesn't have headphones,
It
so
was like-
we sound really weird to her right now.
it was like back home in Chile.
In Chile, which ride was it?
I have no.
You don't remember what it was called?
No,
It was
I
probably
was
just
like
called roller
11.
coaster.
Was it at a fair or an amusement park? Do you remember?
No.
I'm trying to think if I know any parks in Chile. I don't know if I know any off the top of my head. I'm sure they have them.
I'm trying to think of who. I mean, I don't know if Taylor and Sarah have been to Chile. They probably have.
Probably. I certainly haven't. I need to get down there.
I know it's like you. It's like you and those guys, and then the Coaster Kings that are like doing everywhere. Like, oh, here we are in Guam, writing the one credit at a pizza parlor in Guam. You know, it's super super duper funny. But yeah, that's cool. What part of Chile are you from?
I was in Santiago.
Okay, Santiago proper. I have a friend that is from Antofagasta. And I just like saying Antofagasta. Apologize to all those out there who might think my pronunciation is horrible, but I like saying it. So, but have you ridden any coasters recently? Ooh, you are in for a treat. Are you scared?
I'm really scared.
Oh, you can do it.
She's really scared. Believe me.
Terrified.
We've all been talking about Magic Mountain in the car. I think, but you'll be fine. You'll love it.
Okay, so here's a question for you. What at Magic Mountain? I have my own opinion, but I'd like to know what you guys think. What at Magic Mountain do you think is a good roller coaster to start out for someone like her who is probably willing? I mean, you're willing. At least you're going.
Yeah.
But like, is one that's going to be worth it, but not, going to traumatize her? What would you say?
I don't want to influence Tieran's opinion, so I want him to
right,
give
Tieran.
his input first.
X2.
I disagree. I will tell you this about X2. X2, like he was talking about with Dino Conda, X2 is scary.
Yeah.
And that's not me sugarcoating it. Like it's a scary. Like the first drop and going up. It's unlike anything.
Yeah.
The rest of the ride is still wild and kind of disorienting, but it doesn't make you sick. It doesn't make you sick. That's what I really like about that model. It's not nauseating.
Yeah.
Like some of the spinning coasters to me, like make me sick. Like the ones that are spinning.
Totally.
For whatever these controlled flips on X2, and those they don't make you sick. But don't ride X2 unless you're ready. Yes, you could ride X2, but not first.
Not first, yeah.
I'll give a more serious answer.
Yeah.
I usually start people off on full throttle. Is usually where I'll go first.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's usually my
really?
first. It's that or, and people always say Twisted Colossus, but I think Twisted Colossus is pretty intense. I'm usually a full throttle starter just because I think the launch adds an element of intensity that you can expect from other rides, but it doesn't last super long. And then I think the ride is just short enough, as we know, that if people really aren't liking it, at least it's over relatively quickly.
That's interesting. I would never think that because I'm thinking about that now, because if you've never been on a launch coaster, I mean, the launch isn't super intense,
Yeah.
but it's intense enough, and it only has a lap bar.
Right.
And the hang time on the loop is no joke.
It's legit. It's gnarly.
Okay.
It's gnarly. It's gnarly.
It's fun, but for a first time,
I don't know, because what
maybe
else
a number
you really
two,
have?
personally.
You
Maybe a
got,
number two.
What's yours? Revolution?
I would say Revolution. Yeah,
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Revolution is
Yeah.
it's its 50th anniversary.
Were you at the media thing? I was not there
I-
personally.
I don't get invited yet because I had to start my channel over again, as you remember, and my subscriber count isn't high enough yet.
That's okay. I mean, you're still you get a frequent Magic Mountain more than me anyway.
I know.
so
Well, it's
you're
super
far more
funny.
in the loop.
You bring it up, and it's funny because like even people at Magic Mountain will be like, "Oh wait, you're not on our media list. Like, can you change that? You have the ability to change that."
Right.
Just because I call myself the slug horse, the horse slughorn of coaster enthusiasts.
Okay.
Do you guys know Harry Potter at all?
Yeah. Not enough. Maybe Tieran gets it.
Darren, do you get the joke? I collect. I know every coaster enthusiast, but I'm like a nobody. But I brag about who I know. I'm the horse slughorn of Potter fans will get it. But I think it's 50 years old. It's made by a German manufacturer, and it's just smooth. It's what I like about it is that the first the first drop is very mild. The restraints are comfortable now; they're not over the shoulder anymore, and it's great. And then when you're leading up to the loop, it has like a long approach to it. You'd think that they did that on purpose to be like, oh, so you're not scared. No, it's just they were trying to figure this thing out. They're like, I can just imagine like Anton Schwarzkopf, the German guy, going, "We will just make it straight until we get there. Why do anything else?"
I love it.
But
I love it.
And it's cool because you can see it coming, and the loop feels really. It's comfortable. It's a great. I would say kind of get your fear, especially if you've never done an inversion before, which is
That's true.
a fancy term for upside down.
Yeah.
Totally. It's a great, easy, not very intimidating. Because it's really funny because you just look at that loop and you go, "Wow, that was like the world's first modern looping coaster." And then you see Tatsu like towering up with this pretzel loop. It's like
With its insane
You see that loop?
yeah.
We've made it to where it's upside down and you go into it like this. But no, I definitely think that it's Revolution. Do you have a real answer?
To be honest, I think I agree with Jesiah. With
Really?
yeah.
Full
No,
throttle.
no. I think, like you said, like it is a launch coaster, but it's not terribly extreme.
But the loop is massive.
It is quite large. It is.
You got to start somewhere, you know. Like
Yes, you start on Revolution. So that you know what an upside down feels like, not hang time like you're going to come out of your lap belt only restraint.
it's building trust in the park.
Building
you
trust
know?
with the coasters.
You know,
yeah,
building trust. You got to get to know the lap bar. You know?
No, you got to get to know what your body feels like in an inversion.
But hey, maybe
Right.
for selfish reasons we'll do Revolution because I want to ride it now that it's been
it's smooth,
rethemed and whatever.
And the
else
thing
happens to
is,
it.
Full Throttle also gets super busy because it's really close to the
True.
entrance.
Yeah,
And I always
love
tell
it.
people, I mean, that sound like a broken record, but if you get there, especially if you get there a rope drop,
yeah,
go to the back of the park for heaven's sake. Like
Yeah.
you'll have the whole park for like a half an hour, if not 45 minutes, with
Yep.
nobody else there.
yep.
So what's back there that would be easy to ride?
Drop a Doom maybe.
Drop a Doom.
We could
Drop a
start
Doom.
There. We could
Mhm.
start.
Excellent
We could
choice.
start on Drop a Doom. We could start there.
You've got Gold Rusher if you just kind of want to get
True.
get around it. I also think a good starter coaster, believe it or not, to kind of get used to launches and stuff like that, is West Coast Racers.
Oh, see, I forgot that's in this park.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah. It just has one little surprise moment, which is the high five moment. A lot of people don't realize how ejector that is, but I think overall it's a fun ride. You get to do it twice, and both sides, and it's kind of gets you this idea of, okay, this is what a launch feels like. This is kind of what inversions feel like.
Right.
And I think that's a good starter too.
Yeah.
Then you go straight to Riddler's Revenge. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Straight to Riddler. Yeah. I think they'll be good. I'm excited to see. Yeah, I'll drop a comment on this video when it releases of what
Yeah.
they thought of the park. I'll drop
Sweet.
a comment and you guys can get their thoughts on Magic Mountain. once we
Yeah,
finish.
we'll have to do a follow up. We'll see what you think. Let me ask you: is there a ride that you're looking forward to riding when you're there?
X2. I
Nice.
was ready to go to X2 first.
Well, I mean, it would be smart because it does get a long line, and
Yeah.
they only operate with one train, even though they have two trains now, but they only operate with one, and so it can get really, really long, especially now that spring break is not spring break. I'm sorry, summertime is here,
Summer's here.
so the lines are a little bit longer. But maybe you guys can split off because Revolution is right next to
Yeah.
X2 anyway. So and you're like, whatever.
I guess, yeah. Making fun
Hey, don't sleep on Canyon Blaster. It is a fun kiddie coaster, and it is fun. I'm serious.
We'll check it out. We got to do them all. We got all the
You
credits.
gotta do 'em
all the
all.
credits.
Gotta kill them all. All right, so what's coming up for National Coasters? What's next, man, other than this trip here? What do you got going? Anything you can talk about, or should we just stand by?
Right now, we are in the depths of China upload. So if you want to check out some China parks, go ahead and check out the China series. We are in the middle of that right now. Following that, you guys it's been heavily requested. That's the first time I'm announcing this actually. I am bringing back the Rare and Bizarre series that so many of you have been asking me for years to bring back. So that will be coming back in full force, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. I think there are a number of new coasters out there now that deserve some praise and some videos. So looking forward to bringing that series back. And also, I probably can't announce the organization yet, but I am partnering with a roller coaster organization that will be potentially doing some history videos with me in some archival footage and maybe even some cool items and props from things from real old parks. So play coasters that would have been insane nowadays, like the Crystal Beach Cyclone that we have very limited footage of. I may be able to show you guys here in the next coming months this year. So that's what's coming up.
So make sure to check out National Coasters on all the social media. Again, I'll put all his links in the description below.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Go ahead and gently depress on the subscribe button on all of his socials. We don't smash things here because it's just not nice.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And what's coming up for you? Just tagging along?
Yeah, no. When Jesiah's like, "Hey, let's go ride roller coasters," I'm like, "Okay, sweet."
You're like, I'm down.
Yeah.
Cool.
But one thing we are doing right now, and actually we got to get headed here in a second, we are going to the Mandalorian in 4DX.
What time does it start?
I believe 20 minutes ago. But we have at
Whoops.
least 40 minutes of previews, so I think when we show up, we'll be right on time for the movie.
Let's wrap it up. Hey, again, thanks so much for all you guys showing up today. I really appreciate that for testing out actually the round table first in this new studio where we have everybody seated here, and it's more than capacity, but it seemed to work out just fine. I'll have to get some more earphones so that we can all hear each other. But
I appreciate you having us on. I
thank
got
you
to
so
say,
much.
the ambassador here is one of the first enthusiasts that I met at Magic Mountain when I was a little kid walking around, hanging out, taking videos. And he was someone that got me started and kind of interested in, okay, there's people that actually are into coasters and do this thing. Let me give this a shot. So I got to shout out Mr. Ambassador here because I've known you for a good time now. You've seen me grow up a fair bit, and it's been fun to be on different pods, see you in the park. Sometimes I'll see you in random places. One time we did an interview at Fun Spot Kissing Me, I think.
Correct.
Randomly. That was just a random happenstance thing. We did an interview over there. So, good times being on. I appreciate you having us out.
No, I appreciate the friendship that we've been able to establish.
Likewise.
And you're welcome back anytime. All y'all are welcome back anytime. Come on back.
Appreciate it.
So again, on behalf of all y'all and me, the ambassador, this is saying, everybody, let's ride together. Let's go.
Let's go. Boom.